Business is FN hard.
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 On today's episode, meet Geisha Cumberbatch, owner of La Rosa Negra Travel by Dream Vacations.
Black, white, Asian, Latino, refer each other, build each other up, support each other.
And Yolande Joseph Turner, owner of Sea2Shore Vacations.
And I tell them all the time, when I'm doing your booking, I'm acting like I'm going on the trip with y'all. So we all, we're family at this point.
Get ready to get real, because business is effing hard. Hey everyone. Welcome to Business is Effing Hard, the podcast where we dive into the raw, unfiltered challenges of entrepreneurship. I'm Jeroel, the producer of this show since day one. And today, I'm filling in for Calvin and Kyndsie again for episode 17. So, hi. So for episode 17, we've got two amazing guests with us. Geisha Cumberbatch, owner of La Rosa Negra Travel by Dream Vacations. And she's been with us. She's a return guest from episode 3. So feel free to watch that first. It's a real amazing podcast. And now we are joined with Yolande Joseph Turner, owner of Sea2Shore Vacation. These two amazing people have been through different entrepreneurial journeys, and they're here to share their stories, struggles, and strategies for their current success. So Geisha and Yolande, thank you so much for being here. Let's dive right in. So to kick things off, can each of you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, and what makes your business unique? So let's start with Yolande.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Yolande Joseph Turner. I am co-owner of Sea2Shore Vacation, which is a franchise of Dream Vacations. Tammy and I have owned our franchise now for 5 years. We have associates that work with us. We have a total of 20 that work at home, and they are in 16 states, I think. 16 or 17 states. I absolutely love what I do, and I welcome everyone. If you are in need of travel, either Geisha or I can help you out with that. Geisha is part of the same host agency that I'm with, so we are travel sisters. We just live in different states, but we do the same thing, and we enjoy each other's company. And we have a tendency every now and then to get on the telephone and we compare notes and our struggles and things that we are going through. So I have appreciated her, and thank you for the invite, Geisha.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Geisha Cumberbatch. From La Rosa Negra Travel, and thank you, Yolande. Yes, we are sister travel advisors under the same host agency, Dream Vacations. I've been in the industry for 16 years, but my own franchise, I've owned it going on my 4th year. And I enjoy what I do, enjoy customizing trips, escorting groups, booking individual travel as well for families, for individuals, for friends. And I look forward to continuing to do that and hopefully get some referrals and get some new clients and build my brand.
Yes.
That's awesome to hear. So yeah, we're really glad for both of you to be here on our podcast. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the main part of our podcast, and ask our iconic question. What's kicking your butt right now in your business? So in other words, what's the biggest challenge or hardship you're facing in the current landscape of travel industry? So now let's start with Geisha. So take all the time you need to share. What's the biggest challenge right now that you're facing?
As last time I was here was before the elections, but going back to that after the elections, I still feel that part of my challenge is people are in wait and see mode with all the changes that we're dealing with for the last almost a month. This coming Thursday, people are still in wait and see mode of the situation in the United States as well around the world. I have some bookings, but I'm not where I would like to be. Challenges are, in general, on the personal side, for me, are people that are shopping around and not appreciating or taking into account the work that a travel advisor is doing for you. The other things, the airlines, with the incidents that have recently happened, or people are are that fear of traveling, along with gas prices, the fuel, the cost of airfare, the airlines. Yes, I will say they are nickel and diming people because that's what's happening. You click on a fare, then this is an add-on, this is an add-on. Getting charged for a carry-on bag? Really? Come on. It's too much. It's a lot going on. I'm keeping it positive. I'm being patient as well. And this is my dream, my business. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people. And with the challenges of building a trip or booking their trips within their budget, if it's luxury travel as well, which is where like I said in my first podcast, was that I pivoted to luxury travel because you really, at the end of the day, you're getting a lot for your money when you're booking luxury travel, especially, and we can go back and forth. There's a lot going on right now. And some of us, sometimes we just, as human beings, need to step back and breathe, have empathy, be respectful of people's time, budget, needs, profession.
I am going to amen every single thing that she said because we both are going through the same types of issues. Recently, just like Geisha said, because of the elections and what's going on, people are really just afraid of spending money. If you're a government worker, you don't want to spend anything because you don't know if you're going to have a job next month. Everything is going up. Your gas is going up. Your electricity, everything is going up. So travel is not first and foremost on people's minds right now. We have not had a problem with bookings. My whole agency, we're doing okay. But it's like people are booking, but they're afraid to take those big trips.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a lot more domestic travel. Well, we can just go to Vegas now instead of going to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that passport, they hold them back because everything is so uncertain right now. And it's very hard to say, I want to take a $15,000 trip. And you don't know if you're going to have a job next month. We are pivoting and not doing so much of the bigger trips or the international trips. We're trying to keep it close because we live in a beautiful country. So there's a lot to see in the United States. And I, for one, did a train trip last month. I had not been on an Amtrak train in 60 years, but I flew to Chicago. I took Amtrak from Chicago to San Francisco, and it was amazing. I had so many people say, oh, that's something I want to do. So yeah, we're going to start doing a little bit more traveling, maybe not even flying. People are afraid to get on planes, right? They really are. So you have to pivot. It's like when COVID hit, we were doing mostly cruises, but then everything was shut down. You had to pivot. You had to figure out exactly what's the next step. So that's where we are right now.
And to what Yolande said with the flights, it's been like something happening literally every week.
Yeah.
That never happened before. What is going on? And human error all the time. It's the weather whether people want to believe it or not, climate warming it's affecting.
It's real. Yes.
It's real. Part of it might be human error, but not all of the incidents have been. People are going, okay, it's a weekly thing now. It's becoming a weekly thing. And then, you got to stop and say, I'm traveling. And when I have someone tell me, no, you're traveling too much. Remember, look what's happening. I'm like, I try to avoid that negativity. But when someone who cares for you is telling you, you're not seeing what's happening, sometimes you got to
pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is part of life. And I tell people all the time, sometimes I'm more afraid to go to the gas station at 10 o'clock at night than I am to get on a plane and go.
I agree.
Hours, walk the street. But you have to take everything into consideration when you're planning things for people. You want them to be comfortable. You want them to feel comfortable with what they're doing. So if we have to take a step back and maybe do road trips, and maybe they'll feel a little bit more comfortable being behind the steering wheel than getting on a plane. Whatever it takes, we just have to figure it out. We have to make the adjustments and pivot and make it work. Yeah. Because one thing for sure, people are not going to stop traveling. We've already been there, done that for COVID. We're not doing that. We're not going back to that.
Yeah,
we just have to find different ways of doing it.
And I agree with that. I do. Most of my clients are retired. So a lot of it, to your point about maybe pivoting to traveling in the United States, is an option. But in my case, like I do group travel and I escort my groups. I try to, if my groups, I have 5 rooms or 5 cabins and I'm escorting the group. And I try to book them so it gives me a window of time where I'm not, in my perfect world, I don't mind jumping from one trip to the other. That would be my
icing on the cake.
Exactly. But at this moment, I'm not there yet. I'm going to get there. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Some of my travelers are seasoned travelers. They're literally seasoned travelers. For example, the Dave Cause cruise that they do, that jazz festival at sea, it's every year. I'm not the only agent that they work with. They have other trips that they do. So I tend to do a lot of group travel and create my own groups. I've sent you some of the links of my groups so people can join in, and it's immersing in different culture and also being able to meet other people, other travelers, like-minded travelers. But to your point, it's pivoting. It's trying to make sure that you're not in a black hole, to put it one way.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It is hard.
Yes,
We can't, unfortunately, we just can't control the daily situations by just changing this channel and turning it off. But because we're not in people's minds, they're the ones who are going to make the decision.
Exactly. And even though we do, I was going to say, I had a client on Saturday who was flying from St. Paul to Antigua, and her flight was delayed 2.5 hours in Minnesota. And she called me, and she was a little frantic, as she should be. She's okay, so what do I do? I had to get on the phone. I had to call the resort and make the changes and make sure that the transfers were going to be there for the next day, that she didn't lose her room for the next day. I said, where's your luggage? She says, I don't know. So I had to step her through all of this. And all of this happens just because you book a trip does not mean it's going to be perfect. And I had to be at home. I had plans on Saturday, but I had to be at home to make sure that every element of her trip that was messed up, that I had to fix it for her. I spent all day on Saturday between me and Sandals and Antigua, and then I had to book a hotel for her in where she was because her flight wasn't until the next day, and offer them this. And as travel agents, we do a lot. We just don't book a trip.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're taking into account is that sometimes the airlines don't help the traveler. The passenger, you're on your own.
They didn't, because her flight was delayed 2.5 hours. That was on American. That was American style. They did not offer her like accommodations for the evening. They didn't offer her a meal voucher or anything. And she had to come out of her pocket for that extra night. There's always going to be a hiccup, but we as travel agents, we are there for our clients. I try not to travel when my people are traveling. If I could avoid it at all costs, just like before, I didn't want to be like in the air while she's having issues. She wouldn't have had me to call.
Exactly.
So we're always trying to be available to make sure that our clients, the trip, from the time they book it until the time they come back, they've got my service.
Exactly. I agree.
But then again, we can't help it if the airline's going to be late. We can't help it if the hotel is going to mess up on their end. What we do, we make sure we cover what we do. But we also have to be available when they do have hiccups.
Exactly.
And they do have hiccups. All the time.
I can.
Yeah. And also some.
Go ahead, Jeroel.
Like I was just about to say, some clients really even put the blame on the travel agents when they do not know that it's mostly the airlines. It's
absolutely.
There's so many factors.
They are. I can use myself as an example, different airlines, and the service. This past December 25th, I left Houston to go to Dubai to celebrate New Year's in Dubai. My flight was delayed leaving out of Houston, and it had a connection at Doha Airport from Doha to Dubai. Qatar Airways, totally different from American Airlines. They greeted us. Those who were doing the connecting flight notified us that we missed our connection because our flight arriving was delayed. Here's your hotel voucher. Here's your dinner and breakfast voucher.
Oh, wow.
And you have transportation to and from the hotel.
Oh, wow.
You know what? The hotel, it was, and I told you this before, the hotel, my room was bigger than my apartment when I lived in Virginia. It had a full
Wow.
kitchen, living room and dining room area, bathroom, bedroom. It was for a couple of hours. And I'm like, really? This is just for a couple of hours? No, and
Right.
like,
Right.
everything went smoothly. You didn't have time to get upset because it was just the attention to the client. Okay, your flight was delayed. Here, we got this ready. And my boarding pass for the next flight in the morning. I got this little package. Getting off this flight, meeting the person there. The only question that I had was, where's my luggage? Your luggage will be there at the airport when you arrive in Dubai. So I had my carry-on. Yes. Always carry something a little extra in case of an emergency, like they say. But at the same time, it was just the attention. There wasn't a window of time for me to get upset. All I did was call the hotel to let them know, hey, I'm not arriving until tomorrow. That's okay, ma'am. We got you, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's the kind of service that we want to give our clients.
Exactly. And I, for one, I agree also. I try to avoid travel when my clients are traveling. I have some people that are traveling at the end. I will be tracking. I've asked them to keep in touch via WhatsApp, and others that are doing I have some other ones that are doing a cruise with MSC in April in Europe. So the same process is tracked. I just got someone who just got back actually this Sunday, did a Caribbean cruise out of New Orleans. It was Super Bowl weekend. Yeah, he was there during the week. So I was calling him, hey, I got a notification from Carnival about parking street closure, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to be okay getting to the cruise terminal? These little things that are in some cases taken into account, but they're not in other cases. And it's not being annoying, but I'm just making sure that you got from point A to point B and back to point A. And if there's anything that happens in between, if we can help you, that's what we're there for. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that it's very important that you make them feel that you are in touch whenever they need you. So whatever
and you're not
is
alone.
this, they could at least someone. Yes, you're not alone in your travel, because travel is really scary. You're moving from different countries.
I had a young lady that took her first international trip solo, and she went to Paris. And we talked the entire time, every day. I'm checking in with her because I booked it, so I knew what her excursions were. I knew what time she was going to be gone. But she was also alone, and she had some medical issues. So I wanted to make sure she was not only enjoying herself, that she was healthy, that she was taking care of herself. And it was like, okay, girl, so what are you wearing tonight? I know you're going on the cruise tonight. And okay, so what are we wearing to dinner? And she, at the end, she told me, she said, thank you so much for keeping up with me. She said, because sometimes I was just a little scared because I was alone. And then you would call. And she said, it was like you were right there with me. So I met two ladies last week when I was on a cruise, and they said, oh, so you're a travel agent? I said, yes, I am. She says, oh, I thought travel agents were obsolete. So, of course, I had to sit them down. I had to tell them, no, we're obsolete. And I had to explain the value of using a travel. It's what we bring to the table. So when you have a client that can call you and tell you, thank you for taking care of me while I was on my trip, that made my whole day. You know, because I knew she valued me picking up the phone and calling and say, girl, you okay? Did you eat? Because like I said, she had some medical issues. And she was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, mama, I ate. And just to have someone to worry about you.
Exactly. And nowadays we have some solo travelers. There's the market for solo travelers. And last week I have a group that's doing a cruise with AMA Waterways next year. So one of the ladies, we did it I did a virtual cruise night presentation with my local rep. And one of the ladies asked, and it stays with me, I'm traveling alone. Will I be lonely? To your point, I told him, not at all. You're traveling alone, but you're not going to be lonely, and you're not going to be alone because you're going to be with like-minded people. It's a smaller, more intimate cruise on a river. And by the way, I'm on it too, so I'm not going to leave you alone. It's just when they already have that mindset that, oh, I'm traveling solo and I'm going to be lonely and all that. No, you got to get out of that mindset. And in a way, we're here to help people look at the positive side of travel. There's going to be if, buts, or maybes. So is life. But look at the positive side. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your memories. Those things are going to be with you. We can take pictures and share them on Facebook. And I told one lady yesterday, in fact, she was telling me, oh, I love your videos and your pictures and all that. And I said, don't love them. Come with me. Come with me. I'm putting them there. Yes, I want you to enjoy and see what I'm doing, what you can do. But don't just live vicariously through my pictures and through just liking something. Come with me. The door is open. All you got to do is say, I want this trip. I want that trip.
Yeah, I really felt that when I first have my first out of the country travel in Singapore, Malaysia, and in Japan.
Mhm.
So, whenever those travels came up, I always feel like I always say my friends that the ultimate achievement of man is really travel, to be able to get out of the country and to land on a different set of land, meet a different set of people in all races, and to be able to go to those countries that you dream of going. And it's better than having a lot of money or fame, or just, it's really, for me, if I became successful, yeah, I wouldn't hold my money. I'm gonna travel. Because,
And it's
to be
so
able to meet,
fulfilling.
yeah,
It's so fulfilling to
Yeah.
immerse yourself in the different cultures.
it's a great achievement.
Yeah. Is it a little scary, overwhelming for some? Absolutely. But be open-minded when you're traveling. Be open. Don't just be accustomed. And we have travelers that do that are comparing this to that. But sometimes you just have to tell them in a subtle way, don't compare, because it's not the same. Even with cruise lines, I have a client that said, Royal Caribbean this, Royal Caribbean that, and the MSC, they're actually doing MSC. It's two different scenarios.
Absolutely.
MSC is a European cruise line.
Yeah.
So you're going to be immersing into the European culture more than a Royal Caribbean, which is more Caribbean, American.
Yep.
Yeah, culture.
You know what? And so we had training just the other night with MSC, BDM, and she made a point. She said, when you have children on an MSC cruise, you're exposing them to so many different cultures when they're playing with these kids in the kids clubs, and they come back and they may say a couple of words in Swedish, or they may say a couple of words. And I absolutely love MSC, because you're on the elevator and you're hearing all these different languages.
Yes.
Cool, because the one thing that we all have in common, everybody knows how to smile and nod. They may not understand what you're saying, but just a smile and a nod. It's still really cool to hear all those different cultures. And the last MSC cruise I was on, this kind of blew my mind. The captain even came on the loudspeaker and said there were 39 different nationalities sailing, not creaming,
Sailing.
actually sailing. You know, so you open yourself up to so many different cultures when you travel.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I try to push with a lot of my clients. I tell them all the time, you got to get out of your zip code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to get out of your zip code. You just can't stay in one spot. We were not meant to just exist.
No.
If I'm going to exist, I got to exist somewhere else.
You have to have that adventure.
Yeah, that's that adventurous side of me that I want to not Google things. I want to see them myself.
Me too. And you know that
It's a different feeling. Yeah.
I'm not curious, George. I'm curious, Geisha.
There you go.
Yeah. That I want to immerse myself in different cultures and learn about those cultures and make friends. Even if then we're keeping in touch via Facebook or Instagram. But we actually met and shared a moment together, not one-on-one. We touched, we hugged. It wasn't a virtual hug. It wasn't a virtual video call. We actually met, and we could go back to that and share the moment. And again, those are things that no one can take from you. You know?
Exactly. My grandson, we did a cruise it was a couple of years ago, 6 years ago, and he met some kids. They were all his age, and they met at the kids club, and they started talking, and they would text each other and call each other. And now they're graduating from high school. It's been 6 years. And
they're
these
still in
teams have
touch.
kept in touch with each other almost every day. I cannot tell you the amount of
Yeah,
people.
it's core memory, right?
Yes. And so they're even planning on doing another cruise when they graduate. So it's you never know what connections you're going to make on the
Building
cruise.
that community. It's
It
building a
is.
community.
It absolutely is. And I just hope that with everything that's going on right now, it doesn't come to a stop. And that's one of the things I'm afraid of, that there are going to be restrictions on traveling, or it'll become too hard for people to travel. And we have to keep it so that it's easy and it's affordable. I think everyone should have the vacation that they can afford.
Exactly.
That
They should have their dream vacation
Their dream
without having
vacation.
without having to mortgage the house.
Exactly. But I've been like OD the last couple of weeks on TV and keeping up with everything. And it's some scary times we're in right now. And because travel is not a mandatory thing. It really is. It's an optional thing. Not everyone travels every year. Not everyone takes a vacation every year. So this isn't anything that people have to do. And when they start having to cut back, they cut back on the things that they don't have to do.
Exactly.
I
agree.
So I'm trying to stay positive. And when you ask what challenges we have, I'm not having challenges right now. I'm just fearful. I'm fearful of what's going to happen in the future. I'm fearful that people will start losing their jobs to where this is no longer an option. That's what I'm afraid of. And if the cuts and all the changes go too deep, then people will have to stop. They'll take a step back and they'll be like, we can't do that right now. Maybe we can do it next year, the year after that.
But then where are we
now?
Yeah. And then where do we get? And it's the ripple effect. It's really the ripple effect, because this is our jobs and this is our livelihood. So
Absolutely.
To your point about the fearful factor is, I try to keep myself as much as possible, positive as possible, because at the end of the day, it's me, myself, and I. I don't have any other dependents, but I have a lot going on the personal side, and my history I don't need to put all my stuff out there. But it's a lot, especially when you're solo individual, trying to build your brand and then having to deal with personal stuff. So it's a lot on my shoulders, and I focus on being positive, and I also focus on the man upstairs, because I am like, God, you got me here, you got this, I know you got me. And it's running my own race. And yes, Yolande and I have gotten on calls, and it could be like 2 hours, and we're always meeting and talking about this happened. How do you handle this? What do you think about that? And which is, again, it's building a community. I'm not taking clients away, and she's not taking clients. If we can work together, look, this is what I'm doing. And if she's got some nuggets that I can take that and implement to my business, thank you, God. Yeah. Thank you for that conversation, because we're not competing with each other. And like she said, it's a sisterhood. And I hope that those who listen to this in the future, regardless of the business that you're in, you build that sisterhood. There are a lot of women that are working as individuals, individual entrepreneurs, be it travel, be it business, whatever kind of business that you're having. But refer each other. That's the other thing. We need to refer ourselves. We need to work as be it independent of the culture, Black, white, Asian, Latino, refer each other, build each other up, support each other. Don't go online to beat down somebody. Hey, if they accomplish something, congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving, keep it positive. And to men as well, each individual. Congratulations to you guys. Congratulations to you, Jeroel, for stepping up to do the podcast. Just in general, it's my fear is, can we stop the madness? And can we work together to be a little bit more positive? Stop with the beat down. Let's move, instead of trying to point fingers at this, how can we focus on fixing it and build the travel industry, build the airline, any industry, a maker, fashionista. Let's, I'm asking for help. I need some clients. I want some referrals. Can we get along? Maybe
And
you're
that's
not
how you-
into the river cruising. I got some river cruises. Let's see if we can talk and build that brand. Maybe you're not into group travel. I am into group travel. Meetings at sea as well. That's the type of business that I'm looking for. And I love that challenge. Individual bookings as well, because sometimes you need to hold people's hands.
Yeah.
And sometimes you
Really?
need to let them go.
Yeah. This is true too.
You said business is effing hard, so I'm being honest as well. Sometimes you
That's
got to
all part
fire
of
a
it.
client. And that's part of it too. Some clients I love my clients that I can help them out, but then there are clients that don't be disrespectful. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's
Amen.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I want to touch on like the way we talked about how you deal with your clients in a very personal way to give them support. I just realized like how taxing it is for travel agents emotionally, physically. Whenever there's a booking, there's a complete set of the of a set of not just the technical skills but also emotion like empathy, people skills. There's a lot of emotional, physical, and mental like
Yep.
weight on it whenever
Yeah.
you have that client. So I'm just curious, how do you um how do you take care of yourself and get ready whenever you have this client and you know that you're gonna give this set of support that they need, the emotions, the physical readiness, and yeah, the whole package because you're gonna deal with the person. So how do you take care of yourself and get ready to be able to be compassionate and to give empathy to your clients?
Do you want to go first?
Okay. I tell my clients, and I'll be honest with you, most of my business is from referrals. But I like to tell my clients, when you book with me, you get me and we become family. I have clients that will call me just to see how I'm doing. We're not talking about a trip. They've already told me, girl, we're going to take a trip next year. They just want to know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
They want to know how my grandchildren are doing. They just want to know what's going on in my life. I had clients when we first purchased our franchise, it was the month before COVID hit. And I had moved in with my parents to take care of them because their health was declining and whatever. And I eventually lost my mom and my dad within an 8-month period. I had clients that were coming over to my parents' house to lift me up because we had gotten that close. I had clients that went to the funeral. They never met my parents, but because they knew me. So when I do that connection, and I tell them all the time, when I'm doing your booking, I'm acting like I'm going on the trip with y'all. So we're family at this point. So it's like I take pride in taking care of my family members, and all of my clients are my family members. They have total access to me, even if they're not traveling. I've had clients that have called me if there was a death in their family. They would call me just because they knew the type of person I am. I'm going to listen. If it's 4:00 in the morning, you can call me. It takes it to another level. I'm just not selling a trip. I'm selling, we're bonding together. We're family, we're friends. And when people know and trust you, they will pass your name on to their friends.
Yeah.
And then their friends will do the same thing. So I have to make sure that my clients like me. That's all I can say. I have to make sure my clients like me, and they will.
And I think that's where we bonded, and
Yes.
because it's the same with me. I do tell my client, and this is Geisha.
Yes.
No holds barred. Is no question is a stupid question. You need to get in touch with me. And I tell them, if you email me, if you don't hear from me within the next 2 hours, something is wrong. Because I like that, unless I'm already asleep and it's 1:00 in the morning and you email me, I'm going to respond the next. But those little things like that, if you're booking with me, it's the same thing. You are kind of my family. We talk. I've called clients the same to your point, just to check in. I have clients that email me just to check in. Hey, how you doing? And I've already booked or probably not haven't booked or considering doing something, but we keep in touch. And it's that connection. It's not all, it's my livelihood, just like you have your livelihood, but it's not all about that. It's the human part of it. is, to your point, I moved from Virginia down here after my mom passed away. So I've been dealing with that probate court and building my brand at the same time. So it's a lot to for one person. And just to have someone call and just to have, I have clients that are, hey, Geisha, how are you doing? And even other dream vacation associates. I got a text message from one. Hey, I'm calling to check. I'm texting to see how you're doing. I was thinking about you. Thank you. It's that part of that human kindness. And I'm finishing here. I'm calling my client to see how was his cruise, to see how it went and all that. Yeah, it's the follow-up as well. I got a client that last year did Hawaii. And I was telling you earlier that she called me. She texted me Sunday night. When you have time, call me. Yeah, no. What do you mean when you have time, call you? I'll call you in the morning. And what does that mean? She was talking to her family, and now other family members want to do the same trip that they did last year for December to go to Hawaii. It's to what Yolande said. Once they see, they will refer you to other people, to other family members as well. Yeah. So that it takes some time, and it's just being patient and positive. The 2 P's, patience and positivity.
I agree. Definitely.
So
patience and positivity.
Patience and positivity.
Yeah.
And
so this has been.
Go ahead.
Yeah. There's such many insights that we're getting in this show, but we have to wrap up. So I have 2 questions for you. Last 2 questions. So the first one is, as we start wrapping things up, any closing words for our young entrepreneurs or even aspiring travel agents who wants to pursue the same industry that you are? Any inspiring or closing words for them, which if they're still on the fence of pursuing the same industry that you have? Let's start with Geisha.
Yeah. I would say, for those who want to get into the travel industry, do your research. If you're going to be an independent or join a consortium or a host agency, do your research. Be true to yourself and be true to any future clients that you plan to have. Know your worth and hold yourself accountable. If something happens, because some things will happen, might be on your side, might be on the other side, but just be patient with the process and know your worth. Be true to yourself in any industry, be it the travel and wherever you want to start. But know your worth, do your research. Don't just go by word of mouth. Do your research. Actually do the research yourself.
Exactly. And I would, to what Geisha's saying, I would definitely say, give it time.
Yes, that's the other thing.
Because you may look at somebody and they're doing wonderful and you want to be just like them, but you don't know what struggles they had to get to that.
Exactly.
So you have to give yourself time. And when we are talking to people coming into our agency, one of the first questions I ask, can you devote 2 or 3 years to your business? Too many times you just give up after. I didn't make $1 million my first 2 months. It's not going to work.
It's not going to happen.
You have to give it time. You have to grow. And you know what? And you have to fall down and get some busted knees. And
knees and butt. It's not knees and butts.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say give it time, give yourself time and know your business. If you have training in the beginning, it doesn't stop there. It's ongoing. And if you're in the travel business, it's training every day.
Ongoing every day.
So you just have to stick with it. But no matter what you're doing, you just have to stick with it and get a mentor. Get someone that is willing to talk to you. Someone that's willing to hold your hand. Sometimes business is scary.
And sorry to interrupt you. Not only hold your hand and talk to you, but not sugarcoat it. Yeah, you need to be able to have someone that is willing to tell you the things as they are, the truth. Because I have a friend that like that. She's not with Dream Vacations. She has her own independent agency. And Sobeda for me was when I first started with my own agency, literally and set me straight with the things that she said. And don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. If this is your dream or any other business, you need to, what Yolande says, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to give yourself those 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years?
5 years,
They always say it's 5 years before a business really develops. I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not giving up on future clients because I know I'm going to have them. And it's not all about the money all the time. Yeah, that would my perfect world is to get that $2, 5, $7 million that, hey, I'm getting there. I'm walking it. Yeah. If I have to get off my heels and get on my tennis shoes, my Skechers, I'm going. Let's go.
All right, there with you,
Yeah.
girl.
Wow, such inspiring words from our two CEOs entrepreneurs. So yeah, it has been a very fun conversation. So before we close, I have one last question. Actually, this is not a question, but is there anything exciting you'd like to share with our listeners? Something that's gonna happen in your business or any events or anything that you want to share, upcoming projects, launch, or anything that you want your clients or our viewers watching that you want to know about? Let's start with Yolande. Do you have some events to
Well,
promote?
I've got,
Or even a website? Yeah, so you can.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Website. Definitely. First of all, I have a group that's going to Dubai in October that I'm really excited about. I've been there before. My ladies had such a great time. They wanted to go back. So that's what we're doing. So we're doing a group in October the 11th through the 18th. Information will be on the website. And our website is Sea2Shore Vacation. And it's SEA, the number 2, Shore, SHORE, vacation. Okay. Sea2ShoreVacation.com. And if you would like to take a trip to Dubai with us, come on. We'd love to have you.
Right. We're going to put that website link in our show notes. So yeah, better check our show notes below. And for Geisha, anything exciting happening to you?
I have several trips that
It's got
I've
30, 40.
I have several trips. Land
Totally
program.
booked.
Dubai, I have 2 options, one in May and the same itinerary in November, sorry. And then I am doing Egypt 14 nights, sorry, from Cairo to Siwa, back to Cairo, include land program, including a river cruise. So if you want information on that as well, I do have a land program for Cuba in November as well. For those who might be interested, I have multiple, Istanbul as well, Turkey. I have Istanbul, Cappadocia, and other parts of Turkey. Yes, that's why I said I have group travel. If people are interested, hey, send me my email. You've got my email address, but it's G Cumberbatch. So GCUM, B as in boy, ER, B as in boy, ATCH at dreamvacations.com. I have river cruises with AMA Waterways. Los Latinos también for the Spanish-speaking community. I also have some river cruises available, and also during Christmas time, I believe Swiss Alps, if I'm not mistaken. And I also have some ocean cruises for 2026 as well. So yeah, I have a lot going on. And I got to send you my jeweler in Dubai, my dear.
Please do.
Definitely. I'll
You
put you
know,
in contact.
we love the gold suits, right?
Yeah, so I forgot to give you that information, but I will send you Sattar's information. So when you guys go to Dubai, you need to go visit him because he does amazing job.
Definitely
So-
will. Definitely.
So in general, everyone, for those who have been listening, if you need help with your travel, you got 2 amazing travel advisors here. I'm in Texas. Yolande is in Georgia area, but we accommodate all of the United States. And I also speak Spanish, so
Yay.
Nice. Yeah. What's the quickest way for viewers to get a hold of you? So do you have like socials or emails that
Facebook.
for,
I'm on
for people to
Facebook.
reach out to you personally?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Geisha Cumberbatch, and I also have my business page, La Rosa Negra Travel by Dream Vacations. I'm also in Instagram at La Rosa Negra Travel, LinkedIn, Geisha Cumberbatch, and Pinterest as well. That's about it.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere. We're on Facebook. We're Sea2Shore Vacation on Facebook. And if you need to call, you can call our office 833-GREAT-TRIP. GR, the number 8, TRIP. Real simple. 833-GREAT-TRIP.
And my cell is 703-389-4617. If I don't respond, please leave me a message and I will get back to you ASAP. I'm also available on WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. So this is such an awesome conversation. I learned a lot. It's really, I really have fun. Do you have fun in our talk
Oh,
today?
yes. We need to do this again.
Absolutely.
Yes, for
Let us know
sure.
when.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll definitely invite you again. So again, Geisha and Yolande, thank you so much for being on the show and for sharing your wonderful and
Thank you.
heartwarming stories.
Thank
And
you
to
so
everyone listening or watching, every yeah, everything that they have said on their links, on their announcements, everything, we're gonna have those links mentioned today in the show notes. So make sure to check them out. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear these insights. So hopefully, Calvin and Kyndsie will be back next week. But for now, this is Jeroel, the producer, signing off from Business is Effing Hard. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.